Episode 3 of the No Boundaries, back with Alexander BABANINE, James FRAWLEY, and let's just start off with by saying my boy Frawl's here. He's put on some fashion statement here. He's stepped it up a lot for episode 3. You know, we're really out here, and I'm excited to I'm really excited to get this going. How are we, fellas?
Loving it, boys. It's good to be back. It's good to be back in the studs. Just like, you know, just repping the shit.
Second nature for us now.
I feel like we're dabbling. We'll
Positions.
find our ways.
New positions. I'm next to Frawls. Don't know. I'm gonna keep a straight face the entire fucking episode, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
You know, a couple upgrades. Frawls bringing in.
Little Tessie. Shout out
Tequila. Tesla Tequila, 100%. Shout out
Jimby.
Shout out
Elon Musk, mate.
Tesla himself. Tequila, 100%.
We'll double further that next time.
Electricity, the way moving forward. But we're just excited to be back, and let's just keep this going.
100%. I mean, over the last week since we posted that episode 2, you guys really kind of turned it on with the support in the sense of we hit 7th, I think it was. We cracked top 200 for Australian podcasts also, so not just sport podcasts in general. I mean, where are we going with this, boys? Where are we going?
Right, could be getting sneaky. Right. Where the bag at though?
What are you talking about? Yeah, that's an early cut for sure. Nah, it's good. No, honestly, you know, just going over it all, seeing everyone's support, you know, comments. I don't know, it just kind of makes you feel like you're doing something right. I feel like, you know, we're touching on something that you know, maybe, you know, people can relate to. I feel like that's the biggest thing for me.
100%.
I think people can see we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah, the chemistry.
100%.
Chemistry, but I feel like when I'm waking up in the morning, the first things on my mind, no boundaries. It's just you know, I'm not even brushing my teeth some nights. I'm not showering. I'm just getting to the laptop with Babs, thinking about ideas.
I think it's I'm kind of poking my head, you know, you're still sleeping, and I'm poking my head. I'm no boundaries. What are we doing?
This ain't a milli rock, this a money dance, and my dick ain't hard, that's a 30 in my pants. I got 30 of them bands, I'ma make a scribble dance, and I'ma fuck a nigga bitch, cause he nerdy, she a fan. The molly either white or it's yellow like some sand. If you need it, hit my line, no, I got it on a man. I see cotton thizzles and that's what made me all these bands, nigga.
Alright, boys.
We've got an episode. We've got an episode today for everyone. We've got an episode.
For sure. I reckon we start with the headlines recently. Nick's made some headlines with his comments.
We've dabbled.
Which have maybe been taken out of context, but Nick, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I always think controversial is good. You know, I was speaking to Babs about this today. I think bad media is bad media, but something that's controversial where you got some of the people agreeing and some of the people not agreeing, I think that's what the world needs.
Yeah.
I think it keeps them interested. As you guys know, I posted that video on my Instagram to clear everything up because you guys know, tennis is a massive part of our lives. I've sacrificed a lot. I live for it.
Yeah.
To say that I want my favorite tournament cancelled isn't what I actually meant, even though that little small snippet and you see us, you know, I'm eating my dinner, I'm watching 7 News and I'm seeing myself there. I'm like, there he is.
What did it sound like exactly?
KYRGIOS claiming that he wants the Australian Open cancelled. KYRGIOS seeming to be a bit loose on nights out. It will never end. More news at 8.
Seen laughing too loud with his friend.
Yeah, I mean, that's the media for you though. You know, we've all seen it over the last couple of years with anything, you know, I mean, I don't really care about it anymore. I think earlier on in my career when something that I did got taken out of context, I took it too personally.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know, with the media, the bigger the story, the bigger the paycheck for them. You know, they're just squirrels trying to find nuts.
That's the next headline. Speaking of next headlines.
Jesus Christ.
Right, we're off to a good start. Wait, headlines everywhere, mate.
First question, to break the ice a little bit. On the WTA tour, who would you go to dinner with?
I mean, I don't think I'm going to go first. I feel like everyone would be hanging on you know, their cliff's edge waiting for Kiggs' you know, answer for this one, but...
leave Kiggs last then.
I'll leave Kiggs last.
Yeah, you guys tell me. I feel like you guys might have a different answer, but I don't know. We'll see. Where you at, Babs? Where you at?
I mean, there's a few there. There's a few there that I'll probably dabble with, but
yeah.
I think, for me, probably, I think I'd have to lean a little bit towards Jeannie.
Sheesh.
A little Jeannie Bouchard. I mean, I feel like a bit of a fan favourite for most people, but I had a little bit to do with her in sense of training at Melbourne Park during the Australian Open a few years. We're a little chemistry, so I'm eager to see where it goes from there.
That was the Australian Open. I think he texted me one time. I was wondering what he was up to. I was like, what's he up to?
I'm with Jeannie. No, it's good fun. No, she's cool. I'd probably say Jeannie.
To be honest, mate, you stole my answer. Ooh. But
we can fight over if you like.
Maybe we'll bring her on.
Yeah, we'll see like who she chooses. I mean, I'm game. I'm game for that.
Wait, who she
Shout out
choose?
Jeannie. Shout out Jeannie. Where you at, baby?
Shout out to the 6, baby. Canada, baby. Shout out to the fucking
She's
6.
from like Toronto or?
Yeah, I think she's from
It's
Toronto or
Toronto.
something. You know, well, I mean, there's no hiding it. I've got fingerprints all over the WTA tour. I'm just not for real. But you know, got a lot of friends. I got a lot of friends. Get along with them well, and you know, I get along with WTA tour very, very well. But if I had to go to dinner with one, and I think, you know,
Surprise us, Kick. Surprise us.
I've got a lot of chemistry with. I would say Venus Williams. I played mixed doubles with her at Wimbledon, and I don't know, she's really nice. You know, I've spent a lot of time with her. She likes everything that I like. Loves NBA.
Yeah.
She's actually just a real person, and it's so much fun. She's a legend of the game too.
Seemed like you had a fair bit of chemistry, like on court. Like, I saw some snippets. Oh, you posted some on IG, and I was like, damn,
Yeah, I
it's
was
kind
like,
of vibey.
I was like, oh, iconic. Let's fucking go. But yeah, and I'd say, I don't know who else. I mean,
Doing 2 picks, this guy.
So you're taking
No,
two.
go, another pick,
Oh, you're
another
taking
pick.
two.
oh, just give me the Williams sisters, baby.
You really ain't mucking around, you.
No, I'll take Venus. I'll take Venus.
Talking about media headlines and spotlight and stuff like that. Tell us about like when was it you got like really cracked onto the tour and got into the
2014.
spotlight? 2014. How old were you then? Like 18? Was it?
18, but
Yeah.
just turning 19.
Tell us like for us and what it's like to the people, like to become famous at a pretty young age.
After it almost happened, because I was playing qualifying of a Challengers event, and that was the
This
lead
was
up.
in America, no?
No, the week before Wimbledon,
Right.
they have a Challenger. If you win it, you get a wild card into Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And I forgot to enter. And, you know, I had to play qualies, 3 rounds of qualies, ended up winning the tournament, got a wild card.
Yeah.
Made quarterfinals, beat Rafa, the big run. And then I came back to Canberra, and for 2 weeks after that, my life was just so different. You know, I had people camping outside my house. Humble roots, you know. You all eat there, you all shower there. Like, we do other things there too. But yeah,
We,
there
we
was
spent some time at 54 Ig.
exactly, and you got, you know, reporters camping outside my house for days, and since that moment, my life was never the same. And obviously, the controversial path, like the path that I've had as an athlete, definitely hasn't killed that. It's almost added to it, but there's definitely pros and cons. And
There's many pros and cons.
you know, let's just stay with the pros on nights out.
Yeah.
you guys have.
Well, we've dabbled with that, Frolls. I mean, those closest to you certainly experienced that. I mean, it can go from anything from like, you know, super nice people that just like want to show love and like get around that. And like, I feel like that's the most genuine thing. And that's the biggest pro for it. I think the con for it, the side of things is when people kind of like, I think they hold, because they're like a big supporter, either that or, you know, they're, you know, not the biggest supporter, not always in your corner. They can take a little bit, you know, a side of, you know, clinging around for too long. Like, you know, if they haven't got like what they wanted from you, I feel like that's a big one. Like, and I think it just makes, you know, everyone around like a little like, I don't know,
Edgy and anxious.
yeah, a bit anxious. And I think that's like the thing that like kind of like ruins it a little bit, because it should just be a bunch of a bunch of pros.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, you shouldn't be listing cons about being, you know, being successful, you know?
Yeah,
I feel like.
I mean,
With like all famous people, you know, there's going to be a level of jealousy or
Yeah, sure.
whatever it is. As you said, people trying to get what they can out of
Out
you.
of
Or they
you,
see
yeah.
you as like, you know,
target.
a target. Exactly. So
They're not even seeing you as a person anymore. That's the wrong thing about
Exactly.
it. It's like, oh, I think the worst thing about it that I can kind of like, you know, give to those out there listening is like, you know, when you're coming up to someone and you're seeing like this person like, as a celebrity or what, an image or whatever, like be human too. Like, you know, like, hey, how are you? Like, big fan. Hope you're having a great night. Is it okay if I get a photo with you?
Yeah.
Like, is that fine? Like that I can interrupt your night. I feel like people cross the line where they're just like photo.
Yeah.
And like, that's when like, you know, problems arise for everyone involved.
Definitely, and I couldn't agree more. Like when I'm the amount of times I'm, you know, halfway through a meal at dinner or
Yeah, bro.
something like that, and that's where, you know, the line gets blurred.
Obviously, it's part and parcel with the, you know, what like field you're in
Yeah.
and like what we're trying to be into.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're sitting here making a podcast. Like we want people to listen, we want people to enjoy it and stuff like that, and like get around it. But like, yeah, I just feel like people need to like be a bit more conscious of that.
yeah, and I feel like I don't know, some of the stuff Kicks does on court gets taken like a lot out of context.
For
like,
sure.
I mean, really, you know, smashing some rackets on the court.
Not
like,
just Kicks,
don't
though.
get me wrong, I'm not condoning
No,
everything
no, no.
that
Yeah.
happens
No,
on
no,
the
no.
court.
100%.
We never
Everything's done
do.
on the
We
court,
never
but,
do. We never do.
Like smashing rackets, swearing, like it's not the best, but
Well, of course, you got like, I mean, you got NRL players and AFL players, you know, getting into general crimes.
Yes.
And doing things that are
Yes.
not as, you know, you would look at that and say it's disgusting behavior, whatnot. But then because I feel tennis, all the cameras on you on that one person, whether it's a swear word or a cracked racket, it's generally a bigger sport, gets televised, and it's wrong. It's all wrong, but it just comes down to perspective. Like, what would you prefer?
I feel like the perspective on tennis is heavily like
Gentleman's sport.
Gentleman's sport that like you don't say boo. Like, obviously not how Federer was when he was really young, but how he's acted, for the past 15 years on tour. I think that's like literally how you would, envision tennis being held, no? Yeah. Like the picturesque, like, dressing really appropriately, not really going too far outside of that norm, I guess, in that sense,
I want to go back quickly to like Keeg's being famous now.
Yes.
Do you feel like it's changed you? Probably has, but has it changed for better or worse? And then I want to hear Babs's.
I feel like, I've from where I was at 18 to now 26, I feel like I've matured a lot, and I've seen a lot of things being who I am, and I feel like I can read a room very well from like, every time I walk into a room, obviously everyone's kind of focused on me and I can sense what people's agendas are or, what their intentions are, including the ladies.
We don't leave them out, baby.
We don't leave them out.
We're out, no. We're out, baby.
But, I know how to put myself in other people's shoes very well now, and I've matured a lot since I was 18. But like pros and cons, like for instance, what I can do with my platform now, and I feel like this podcast is now a platform to help others listening with, dealing with anxiety like we did last episode.
Yeah,
or, just life experience with you guys. Like we're now using a platform to help others and also have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah. I'd like to think we're having a bit of fun.
Exactly, we are. And then when we go out, we may not have to wait in line to go to places. We're extremely lucky for that because people could be waiting for 2 hours. And, you get into places, you dine in beautiful places around the world and 100%. Whatnot. But at the same time, like, I have to worry about where I park my car. It's been keyed a bunch.
Especially being in Canberra, like, everyone kind of knows what you drive.
Definitely.
Like, they see you around.
He does drive a green Tesla, but anyway.
It's just like, come get me, baby.
Not exactly undercover.
Where they at, mate? I do wish there was an off switch for it at times. It does get exhausting. It's not, especially because we all have bad days. We all wake up on the wrong side of the bed sometimes. Sometimes I don't feel like interacting, and I may be ruder, maybe too rude to people sometimes. I'm just having a frustrating day. I could be dealing with family problems or anything.
Relationship.
And people don't, relationship problems, people don't really understand that. They just think, he's a tennis player, he's got that, so he's got to act a certain way. But sometimes I don't.
His tennis player, his famous, give me that photo.
Correct.
Like, end of story. That's all they look at.
And you guys have been there when I'm like literally telling people to fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, fuck off. Like, get away from me. And then that's a ripple effect. They go tell someone, they tell someone. And then it comes back to me that I'm a bad person.
When in reality, they don't tell the full story of what actually happened. They've just shoved the phone in your face.
Correct.
Flashlights all around. Give me that photo, baby. Like, there needs to be more respect, I think, just bottom line across like how you treat, not just athletes though, just celebrities in general. I actually listened to a Joe Rogan podcast and he was interviewing Kevin Hart. He touched on this a little bit. He kind of just said like, he wished more people would actually stop asking for photos more and just enjoy the moment, actually conversing with another human in the world,
talk.
Like as opposed to just being like, yo, what up? Like, and just posting for the gram.
But that's a big, like, we live in a generation where, like, say concerts or we go to a fun thing and people just want to take pictures and remember that they were there rather than actually enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Like, they'd rather read about it the next day and not actually be there in the moment.
Yes. It's an issue.
Same thing.
It's an epidemic in that sense. I keep saying the word epidemic every potty, but I'm going to keep doing it.
It's true, bro.
It's an epidemic, bro.
It's sad. But, I feel like the biggest thing that I struggled with was being under the spotlight and having so much what you call fame. When I was having general problems that normal people or people that didn't have so many eyes on them were dealing with, it just gets amplified times 20. Because I have to try and carry myself every time I go to a supermarket or through the mall, like a certain way where it's just fucking exhausting.
Whilst things are also going wrong for you, or right for you, you don't know, on a tennis court or even off the court, you still got to handle yourself, knowing that all eyes are on you in that regard, for sure.
Like an example, like I'll be at dinner, like maybe having a beer with you guys. Like it's happened to me so many times when I'm out in Australia, like just at dinner, it's like 7 p.m. at night, have a dinner, and then some old guy or an old person or like someone doesn't hate me, like, KYRGIOS, bro, why you not on tennis court practicing? I'm like, bro, I'm having fucking dinner. It's 7 p.m. Like,
let me enjoy my life. I feel like people also don't realize when you're coming up to someone that's in their in their position, in their rifle field. I feel like something that also gets missed is you know, the body of work, like you've said a few times around us, that goes into being successful. And they just kind of assume that you just made it like, you know, like within 10 days of like seeing this person, you know,
you just get like pulled out of a hat.
For example, said person goes and, you know, what's her name? M. Raducanu, right?
Yep.
Let's just bring her up for a second.
Yep.
Goes and wins US Open a couple months back,
Yep.
right? Breaks onto the scene. I know she was making moves earlier at Wimbledon and whatnot, but like goes out of nothing to making deep runs at slams, right?
Yes.
But they'll be like, oh, she's just come out of nowhere, like brand new girl in the scene, you know, like, bro, she's been playing for like 17 years to get. Well, no, she was
like
19,
12,
right?
probably like 12.
Bro, like 12 years of playing tennis. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like people just throw that under the bus and say, like, I use it as like an avalanche, like an iceberg
yeah.
metaphor. You know, like you're only seeing like 10% of like what's actually been put in to get there.
You're so right. Like, and she's not just playing tennis. It's like we all sacrificed a bit of our social life growing up. We didn't really, you know, we weren't able to just go to, say, parties or
So
what
much.
everyone would, a normal person going through school had that. I
Yeah.
never experienced any of that growing up.
100.
And the, you know, the gym sessions, the conditioning sessions, the hitting sessions, doing school, studying whilst doing that. And then people only see you when you're out on court for that hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then you have a bit of success. And then that's all they seem to like focus on.
100%.
And then that goes to anything, not just tennis players, like anyone that gets successful.
Well, yeah, anyone in that.
No one, I don't think, respects the actual foundation. Like, it's like 15 years of building up.
I feel like people don't respect the body of work.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, it's an on and off switch for people. I feel like that's part of the reason why a lot of people don't actually succeed in the fields that they're passionate about, because they think that it's overnight, you know, route to success. It doesn't happen, bro, like that, you know?
As funny as it is, like, no one really would believe that I was obsessed. Like, you look at me now, like, obviously I'm not as obsessive as I maybe once was in the sport, but there was a period where I was in Melbourne and it was like every day.
You
for,
gotta be,
like,
though.
7 hours. I was obsessed. Like,
You
I was
have
just
to be.
like, and I was watching like players on YouTube, like studying the game.
Yeah.
Like, it was just never ending for years. And then now I look back, I'm like, fuck, what the fuck was I doing? I was like, I must have been insane.
Yeah.
But that's how you have to be, you know? to be
What
successful
do you
in any
reckon's
field.
changed? Like, obviously you're at that point. Like, we saw you come up through the Charlie Tour and stuff. Like, you're playing unbelievable tennis. Like, so hungry. Like, what do you think changed from then to now?
Just a lot of perspective. I think a lot of life experience. Like, losing one of my family members changed the way I approached the game. I felt like I didn't want to give myself to tennis fully after that, because I felt like tennis was the thing that was taking me away from seeing my loved ones.
Yeah.
Which is like, you can use that as an excuse, but I just have never been able to give myself the way I once was, because I didn't know what true loss was until that happened. But it give me anything, bro. Like, relationships fucked with my head. My first relationship, dude.
When do relationships not fuck with your head, though?
But, like-
and then you have to manage a relationship whilst traveling. I mean, it's just another story. Like, we
Another
can
story.
start dabbling into that, but like, it's just another.
I don't know. So many things. I just like perspective. I'm like, fuck. Losing a tennis match in the scheme of things is not.
Yeah.
He's not bad. Like,
It's not very big.
We've gone from self-harming for breaking up with your first girlfriend and losing loved ones, and then like everyone's like, oh, bro, you didn't hit your forehand well today.
Yeah.
Like, I literally feel like going into press conference sometimes and say like, why the fuck are we talking about this?
Yeah,
Like, why the fuck?
yeah.
Like, and you got so many things playing on your mind. It's just like,
Like, a bit of perspective. Like,
Yeah,
there's
that-
more to
that
life.
changed my career.
There's more to life than this sport that we currently play.
Correct.
Or, you know.
and that comes down to like, oh, like, you know, use it as an excuse not doing Grand Slams. Like, I'm happier this way, and I'm happier. Like, I love enjoying and doing this sort of stuff with you guys rather than being in Paris right now and playing for the 33rd week of the year. Like, it's just not how I'm built.
That's a big one.
I guess for you, it's cool. Like, you got in a position where you can pick your schedule
got
and like,
options.
really have limited tournaments.
Got options.
And
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely that's another pro that we were talking about before. You know? That's in the pro side, baby. Wait. Strike it down.
Actually, I want to tell a funny story.
Okay.
Obviously, like, you put in a lot of hours and train really hard, and like
Yep.
I was there for a lot of them.
Yep.
But I want to tell a funny story about Todd, the runs around
And
AIS,
Are we naming Todd?
and
Oh,
Todd.
shout out
Oh,
Todd.
shout out
Todd
Todd
Larkin,
Larkin.
100%.
Shout out Toddy. Let's go.
Shout out
baby.
Todd Larkin, baby.
Got some-
Oh, shout out that backhand, still shaking, baby.
Forehands, absolute money.
Yeah, money, fine money. So obviously you knew I was carrying a bit of a gut when I was,
Yeah, sure.
and
I always used to always see you eating something like, you know, in between games, and Luigi were like, whoa.
Be on the Nintendo DS and just
Yeah.
smash it.
Yeah, literally.
so
I'll be
AIS
kind of sitting next to you, looking like, what you got there, bro? Anything for me or what?
And now you're at 54, you can bother. I'm just like,
It's like, no. Oh, sip nude.
oh, we had him today. Fuck. Shout out the Asian cuisine,
Oh.
baby. So there's a track around the AIS where it's like, that I think in total was about 3Ks. And I was never able to keep up with the group. There was about 7 of us, and everyone was in decent shape, like decent playing shape, except for Giggs. And Frawls always had a bit of like the lazy gene in him. Like, he was always fit.
Bit too cool for school.
Yeah.
Kind of
To be honest, long distance running was not my strength, but
You were fit, fast. You were a pretty hard worker, like put your head down, but there was always like a little bit of a gene. I saw it in him because we have it. And
We
swear
can
to
chase
Frawls,
tennis balls.
I was like, he has it as well. And like one day, I think Frawls must have been having a bad day, and I was really struggling. And Frawls was like lagging near me on the run. And I was like, shit, like what's he doing? Like I don't usually see anyone on the run. I'm just like at my own pace. And Frawls was like, hey, like Giggs, like there's a shortcut. Like we just go straight through the middle of the whole entire track. It cuts it like.
I've actually never heard the story.
So you literally just sprint for like 300 meters and you're back to the start. And everyone's doing like 1K.
What?
And so we're just like waiting behind a
But
tree.
then no one's monitoring the cut.
well, Todd was looking.
Surely-
like, he was
surely someone's
kind of
watching.
monitoring. Like, but the thing is, you had to wait for him to turn around, sprint across, hide behind the tree, wait for everyone to run past.
You got to
and
roll
then
the
join
dice
back.
a little bit. You got to roll the dice.
And I was just, he was like, go, 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 go. So we're just sprinting across and I'm just like, whoa, almost falling over on my flabs and everything. And then we get there and then like 2 weeks we kept taking the shortcut, right? And then like, we start like, not being too far behind the fit pack, like the people who are fit. And our coach is like, fuck, Nick, your fitness has improved. And I was like, you know what, it has.
You're like, thanks for looking out for me,
I
baby.
was like, thanks, bro, dude. Because I was dying on those runs. I used to hate them so much.
I mean, I've got my own little one of that. Like back in juniors when I was at like Melbourne Park training every day, we used to do the beep tests religiously. Like one of our fitness trainers was just OCD. I'm not going to name names, but he was OCD with beep tests. And I despise anything to do with like long endurance running. Like can run all on a court all day after tennis ball, football, basketball. Like, wait, we get some shots up there.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
But come a beep test, I don't want a bar of it. So this time, I was like, oh, my knee's a little bit sore today. Kind of waltzed into this. I was like, I don't know.
Really sore.
I don't know. So this session, they come to me before and they're like, all right, Babs, like, you're highly ranked. You're the leader of this kind of squad. You need to show them how it's done. The best effort I put in was 2-1. I said, nah, fuck this shit.
That's like walking pace.
And I walked off, and then they were just like, what's going on? I was like, nah, my knees. I was just like, I'm done. And then they just, I think we all kind of had that little gene in us where we just like to cut corners.
Definitely. 100%.
All right. Well, I want to come back to another story of kick.
You know it's good when you try to say his name and you start laughing mid-say.
I'm fucking, but like I look at this as a tactical genius thing. Like I find
Like
ways.
serious smart.
Correct, because like if someone gives me a task to do and I know that my strength is not fitness or my strength is not hard work at the time, like I'm gonna work around that. And I'm
looking
gonna
for ways
find
around that.
You got to win.
Exactly. Like
That's,
I'm gonna cut the wire and I'm gonna go around the way and fucking try and win. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna try and outgrind Diego Schwartzman.
No.
Shout out Diego Schwartzman, mate. But like, team well, mate.
Team well.
But I'm gonna outpower it. I know it's the same thing with this polling thing, and
being a tennis player. Well, not just being a tennis player, being an athlete.
Being an athlete, I think athlete
traveling
on the come.
athlete.
Let's say athlete on the come up. I'd say
athlete
probably
on the
best.
come up, or just that travels a lot, that has to travel a lot.
Anything that any like field of work that you're having to travel a lot and spend extensive periods of time away from home and your
Yes.
family, and loved
Yes.
ones, or relationships in that regard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So if we touch on that, like Kiggs, I think that's another thing that a lot of people kind of like throw to the side with the travels for us relative to that. I've been in a couple of relationships where like I've just had to basically pick up from being in like a really comfy position, loving where things are going, all that kind of like, honeymoon phases and that, to just shaking things up and being like, well, I'm going overseas for like 3, 4, 5 months. I mean, obviously you would have doubled that a little bit longer because like I've only been away for like, 3 or 4 at a time.
Yeah, it just puts unnecessary strain on a relationship that isn't really normal. Like it's not relationships. I don't think should be tested like that. For instance, like you shouldn't have to be. For instance, in my last relationship, I was forced to choose between a coach. Like I was going to try and bring Jonesy with me. I wanted to bring Will with me. I had my girlfriend, and I had Horse, which
Yeah.
is my manager.
Yeah.
Shout out Horse, babe. But like, that's 4 people that I would essentially want with me at the time. But because of the restrictions, I had to pick and choose. And
that was COVID
related,
right,
but that's COVID related. But just travel in general, like I had with my first girlfriend, I was away from her for like 6 months at a time. And when you're, trying to play at the highest level, like, you start missing someone, like emotionally, physically. You get
Something
I believe
goes wrong.
sexual frustration
Yes,
is
yeah.
a thing as well.
100%.
Like I'm on court and I can't like play because like,
Gotta get it.
I'm a bit
you gotta
horny,
get it
you know what I
up.
mean, mate? Like,
You beat that bishop.
exactly. But I'm serious. Like, there's so many things. Like, for instance, it doesn't matter if you've got an office job or you're doing this, If you don't see a significant other that you like miss, it affects your
mentally,
work,
yeah.
your mood, everything. I'm the moodiest motherfucker when
Yeah.
I was away from my
I'm the
misso for
same.
that long.
Yeah, but like also finding like when that happens, it kind of like pulls you away from like being locked into like, the hard work.
100%.
Like I don't know, just finding excuses not to do it so I can like spend more time on a FaceTime. I'm gonna go to bed a little later because they want to see me a little bit more, which then pushes my day back a little bit the next day, which means I train less, which means I have less preparation for my match.
Problems
like
on problems on problems.
It's just a ripple effect in that regard.
Sure,
And no
like,
one sees
also
that.
the other side, like losing matches, like the ups
Yeah.
and downs emotionally of just playing
Right.
and like winning or
100.
losing. Like that also puts pressure on relationships outside.
You come off court, you've had a fight prior to going on court. You come off court and you just, your phone's just getting blown up, and then you just pick it up and just say like, not today, baby, not today. No, I'm not doing it right now. Like I just like it's difficult for them being in that position because like they can't actually be there to like sort the things out. But like what I've found is like, those. Like if you're arguing whilst away, like it just snowballs things just out. Like things just go out of proportion, like blown up so much.
Well, definitely. I think 85% of relationships are probably, they're in the same spot. So if they got a problem, you can just meet with a person over coffee, face to face, figure it out. But like when I have problems with my significant other and I'm away from them on the other side of the globe,
Yeah.
and like we maybe mid-fight, have to go out on court 5 hours later, emotions are still heavy.
Yeah.
It just snowballs, man.
I've struggled with it. I've struggled with trying to like balance it, and I mean I don't know. It's just tough. I think at the end of the day, it's just tough, and you got to try and find someone that really like is connected to the lifestyle. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, and I think that's why like a lot of tennis people, you start dating other tennis players. Like, isn't Fognini married to Flavia Pennetta? Like, they're married, they're happy, they've got kids. I think.
Yeah.
So like, I think like people like that, they're doing it right. So I don't know. I mean, that might be someone telling us like we need to start figuring out like what we're doing.
My ex was a tennis player. That shit went south real quick, bro.
That's cut.
as well as like relationships. Like what about like just having family? Like not
bro.
not having family there for like the ups and the downs.
Like you're sacrificing some of your best moments too on tour, and they're not there to share them with you. Like some of the best wins I've had, and I've just instantly wanted to talk to my family, but I don't have Wi-Fi. Like in the I don't get a cell card in every country that I travel to. I'm sure you guys don't do that either.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm like, oh well, I can't call them for like 6 hours. I know time difference is a thing. Usually, I'm just like, I'm just like,
That's the
hang
whole
on.
thing with relationships
Usually,
too.
I'm just like, hey, Dad, wake the fuck up. Oh, yeah, you better share that win, boy. But yeah, like I feel like time zone's another issue also. Like if you're in the UK and they're in Australia, like, well, I mean, like I think it's like
you wake up for like 2 hours and they're awake for like an
it's
hour.
something like that. It's just complete polar opposites, and that's another issue.
I think that's actually how I originally, because my relationship with my family wasn't great a couple of years ago, and I think that's why, because I was always away and I didn't really have my family around me, so I was winning, losing, going through relationship problems, dealing with other problems, like just
Not
a
staying
herd of
connected to your
problems,
family at the same
everything,
time.
and then pushing them away because it's like you feel like the world's against you. I was dealing with obviously media things at the time, so I pushed everyone that actually was close to me away, and then I just fell out with people, and it's just like that's something that I just never would want again.
I feel like you found your way back though from that. Like
Definitely.
as in like big time. Like I think us closest to you,
Yeah.
we knew that.
Yeah.
Like giving Myron insight on that. Like I could definitely go back and remember that period.
Yeah.
But I think over the course of like I want to say like 18 months.
Yeah.
I feel like you've you've like shifted gear there,
Yeah.
and like I think you've like connected heavily back
Yeah.
into that, and you know like
Yeah.
what you know the way to get the best out of yourself now. I
100%.
think that's heavy.
And I think just travel in general for athletes. I mean, and the thing is, not many people understand that. Like, you have AFL guys complaining that they have to do
Yeah.
like a 1 month bubble in
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
That's literally
I'm doing
cake.
like 7 months a year away from home abroad in a new place every week. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you can't compare the two.
You
It's like
cannot
apples and
compare the two.
oranges. Like, come on, like
And
get
people
real.
don't get that. That's why tennis is so hard, in my opinion, because it not only does it involve like mental game is ridiculous. Physically, you have to be an absolute animal. So that you can play matches for 3. What other sport do you have to play for 3+ hours, possibly 7 times in 2 weeks? It just doesn't
It
happen.
just doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
I
Technically,
think the next one is golf, but golf is like obviously not
Correct.
a physically draining sport like that.
But still,
It's
it's
more
just
mental.
not to the extent.
not to the extent.
Mental.
And technically, you have to be pretty sound to be at the
Of
top
course, of
level.
course.
And it's just so many things. And plus with the travel, not seeing your family, and just like tennis is just. And I'm pretty sure that's why I lost my fucking marbles, because
I'm with you on that one. I think Frawley is sitting in the middle of two absolute guys, batshit crazy.
But serious,
You
like, and
fruitcakes I'm
that's
with.
the thing. But they think it's funny, but like, dude, this shit turns you like fucking mental, man. Like, it's fucked with my brain.
100%.
And Kobe said it as well, like, because he did an interview at the US Open. He said he loves tennis because it teaches you so many life lessons. Like, you're just
Yeah.
on your own,
I remember we touched on that, I think, the first episode a little bit with that.
and it just fucked me.
Yeah, it's super frustrating. Like, you can see, like, when, you're cracking a racket or something, like, obviously it's not the best thing, but, like, being out there by yourself, being on the road for so long, like, it happens, you know what I mean? Like, it's super frustrating.
I've broken a few things on tour, not just tennis rackets. I'll say that. I'll leave it at that. Might have been a chair.
Shout out Rome, baby. I got teeth up there.
No. Wait, what?
Against Rude. I was like, fuck out of here.
Oh,
Chair on court. Remember in the second set, I was doing this to the crowd. And then third set, I was chucking chairs on. The supervisor's like, KYRGIOS,
That's
you're done.
enough.
I was like, fuck yeah, bro. I'm fucking out of this place. Get me a flight out.
Not one of the final ones. Not one of
I
the final
liked it, bro.
No.
That was
come
one
on,
of the
come on.
that was one of the most insane matches, bro, ever.
Third set, no?
Well, second set, the Italian crowd, like I was just giving them these every point.
But
like,
but why are they going for him? He's from like the
No, the
Netherlands.
energy was
that-
insane.
it's
They were
insane,
going
but
for
they
it.
were
Yeah, but
like,
Casper Ruud's not from Italy.
They all
Yeah,
just
but
love.
Oh, they're
but,
just
like,
loving
I
the
was
outlaws.
just going there,
Oh,
like,
okay.
eating droppies and shit.
Yeah.
And the next court was Delpo and Goffin, and they had to stop their match because the crowd were just like, and I was just like. I was just dancing shit. I was just like, and Delpo's like, shut the fuck up. I was like, bro, you shut the fuck up. I'm just like dancing shit. And then 2 games later, I got defaulted.
What about the guy front row? He's like, what did he do? The
He's like,
crying.
"KYRGIOS, no.
He's so upset.
No. I was like, I'll see you later, mate.
I'll see you out later that night,
That was a fucking insane match. Like, that was roller coaster shit.
Yeah, but I think that like the biggest reason like that match was like so crazy is because like there's no gap between the courts. It's just
Yeah.
a fence.
Literally,
Like, I
bro.
think it's the only event around the world that has like junior events.
Yeah, literally. It
think
was
it's
right
literally
next to the
the same.
crowd. It was so funny.
I would have loved that. I would have been bounced off so much dummy energy. I'd be like, what?
Do you guys ever reckon though, like traveling and stuff, you'll ever miss the travel like of tennis? Like obviously we're touching on some negatives right now.
I think I'll miss the travel of going from like tournament to tournament with my mates. And seeing like other friends there and stuff like that. But I don't think I'd necessarily miss, like, let's relate it to now. Like, I know you traveled more than us. 3 months? How much have you done? 4 months in the last 2 years? Since COVID?
Yeah, 4.5 months.
Okay, so 4.5 months. I mean, you would have felt like you're reunited with some of the guys, with some of the lads on
Yeah,
tour.
some of
Like,
them,
shout out Sears.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
some of my best friends, not you guys, but
tour friend. Yeah,
international.
yeah.
International.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's something I think I'd miss. Like seeing with some of the lads that I got
For sure.
camaraderie
Like I
with.
think like for me, looking, these
miss
last
it?
2 years, like being in Canberra, I'm like, gee, some of my best memories are actually out on tour. When at the time I thought it was.
A struggle.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
no,
tough,
a chore.
like-
I think probably the best way would be like a chore. But I
Yeah.
like chasing that furry little yellow ball around.
Yeah, I mean, like it's crazy because everyone you meet that doesn't have the opportunity to travel is always like, fuck, I just want to go travel.
Yes.
And that's the cool thing. Like when people meet me, they're like, fuck, your life, like must be so good. And I'm like, I'm incredibly blessed. Yeah. But they're always like, man, I want to travel. And all I want to do is just be home. Like
I'm the
that's
same.
all I want to do. I just want to be in my fucking house in Canberra and just on the couch, just unbothered with an oat latte and just like
watching
the
NBA
league,
highlights.
watching the league, messaging you guys, maybe getting like a little feed, but like, and then people are just like, oh, Canberra sucks. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm just like, Australia's the best place to be, even though we've had our struggles with COVID, but like outside of that, it's
Canberra's been really good during.
Canberra, but Australia is hands down the best place in the world, like hands down, safety wise,
I agree.
everything.
I agree.
But then again, it's cool though. Like you could go anywhere in the world and just you got contacts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you could just say, "Oh, I
You
want to."
meet so many people.
All I need is you boys, baby. Oh, shout out to the crew, baby.
From the mud, boy.
So nights out, we all know that's a big hobby of mine, and
Well, it's no secret.
it's no secret. And like me and my bottle Jack, we had a good chat
And
last
Jim.
night.
You're pretty
And
close with Jim
yeah,
too, right?
Yeah, and
sure.
Jim.
And Johnny.
Yeah,
also?
and
sure.
Johnny. Yeah.
Midi also. Yeah, we got a long list, baby.
So yeah, boys, where are some of the best nights out we've had? Not necessarily together. It might be in a back street
I think outside of Australia.
outside of Australia. Yeah. Yep.
For me, I'd be running through like New York. I think that was off tap when we were there, like 2019.
We had some good times.
Feels like wasn't that long ago though, because of like COVID and stuff. But it was pretty dangerous. It's pretty dangerous. I feel like you start falling into a little bit of a pattern there. Like
New York's fucked. I couldn't.
One
live
Oak,
there.
One Oak, off the. Bro, I'm just like, get me back.
But honestly, when I think about New York, like I get scared because like I can't walk for like 3 days after I go out.
I got a little anxious in New York after a while though. Like
Yeah.
going out, obviously like we're there for an event, but like, I think there was a period where we didn't have like tennis for a little while before the US Open started. So we're like, we're checking out the sites. And by sites, we mean the bars. And by the bars, we mean like clubs. And it's like, where the women out though? But walking through One Oak, what were the other clubs there? There was some pretty nutty
Even
ones.
like the rooftop bars or like
it's
just
so
like
scenic, like looking at the lights and like the
New York is dangerous. Shout out NYC, bro. Like I can't go. I stay the fuck away
Dude,
from me.
it's the
Seriously,
jungle.
dude.
It's
That
the
place
jungle.
is fucking crazy.
concrete jungles off tap.
I love it, man.
So you'd rather go out in Canberra than NYC or what?
So
no chance.
NYC, I feel like has a good.
It has to be the best.
One of the best. Miami for sure as well. I think Miami's insane.
Club Live.
Oh,
Did you go there?
Yeah, Live's
oh,
insane.
yeah, I'm in a club Live. Oh, what's this?
I live.
Wait, Babs is rolling through there. Don't you worry about it.
Live was good.
Yeah. Did you go to Fontainebleau?
Probably.
Well, Club Live is at Fontainebleau, but did you ever like spend time at the pools there and stuff? Because they got like table service at the pools.
Probably. Bro.
Bikinis, like
I don't know
outside little concerts and stuff.
In
like
the
moshes.
States, in the States, just the like, look how I can't even put my words because I'm so excited. I just want to go there right now. Just I can't put into words how excited I get when we walk in. Like, here's how I look at it. There's nothing better for me when I'm with the best boys. Like you guys, we're looking fucking fire as fuck.
So many hoodies
like,
on. We're just
so
like,
many hoodies on and shit. Like, and like we walk around like fucking kings. Don't you get like you know what I mean? We walk in there, and we're turning heads and shit.
Yeah. Wait, we ain't fucking around.
I got like a nice little cutie come up to me saying like, "Oh, here's your table. Like, so what do you want?" They open up a nice book. Like,
Yes,
it's illuminated. So like, it's nice to see. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. And then we sit down. The music's playing R&B, like, and we just
The drinks
sit there.
come though.
The
The
drinks come.
table service with the
Sparklers and
sparklers
stuff.
flying around. You just like
And like we
Bring that shit
just
over.
want to sit there, vibe, and there's just nothing better. Like I just love that.
I feel like you feel safer doing that too, though. Like, as in, obviously, you got people that like from the outside looking in, touching on like one of the first topics we spoke about, like with people like wanting to like touch, someone in that position, right?
Yeah.
But like, I feel like it's so much easier to handle with that too, because you're just like, yeah, come in, take a quick photo, see you later, sec,
yeah.
and then
Rather
send
than
them on
the
the
mosh
way.
pits of Canberra.
As opposed to like people just chucking phones in your face, and it's just like, get it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Frols?
New York handle it good.
Any like particular Europe?
You've been out
I mean,
Europe,
we went out.
sure.
Look,
In Europe,
we didn't go out in Europe together.
Well, no, but what about you, maybe?
Yeah,
Like,
we want to hear
you
some of
really-
yours.
Hey,
Mate, my biggest nights are
Some of
always been
your
with
stories,
Izzy.
bro. Yeah, but wait,
drinks
Well,
like
we wouldn't mind hearing a couple of stories without us.
I
too.
reckon Frols has been lost in the depths of Germany. Let's hear it.
Frols has seen. Let's go. Wait, you're
you
on
guys
the.
put me on the spot.
Yeah, let's go.
You best believe he's
Wait, we're
sophisticated.
throwing you under the bus.
To be honest, when I wasn't with Keegs on tour, I was actually pretty calm. But probably my biggest night was in Serbia. I think in Novi Sad.
Ooh.
Of a Sard go.
Very underrated place.
Was that when I was there or no? Did we? Was that?
Nah, I think different.
We linked one time though, like for like 2 days. You weren't traveling. We weren't traveling together, but I saw you with like some of the other boys and stuff in Novi
really?
Sad.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
for like one tournament, I think.
Novi Sad was cool.
But like we
definitely.
went out to like I think we went out to like a restaurant and like we got a couple of drinks.
But they go hard though in like
That's
Eastern
not.
European countries. They
Oh no,
go
that's your like
hard,
your
bro.
that's your
We'll
style.
see.
Like,
I got another one. Madrid.
Oh,
Wait, Madrid's dangerous.
Espanyol.
Wait, we went out in Madrid that time,
Ugh.
and I remember I was like, I was ready to go out, like dressed for dinner or whatever, like 7:30 or whatever. But like you were just like, pace yourself because like no one goes out here until like 3.
Yeah, bro.
So I think we were with like Marinks,
Oh god.
you, myself, who else? Do you remember that Madrid Thousands back then?
Yeah, bro.
I can't remember. It was a crew. It was a crew. But anyway, there was a couple other Aussies, and I just remember I was like, it's 3:30, and I'm like, I want to go home. And everyone's just like, the streets are packed. People just running up and down like a fucking circus out here.
Europeans do it differently. Like with their nights out, they just go all night.
Well, the guys
long.
at dinner before they go.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
even during the week in Spain,
Yeah,
though, people
yeah.
are going out to dinner at like 11
So
p.m.
what are you playing at?
I love that shit.
We've
man.
seen some shit. We've seen some shit.
Like, would you say? I feel like you're a bit of an early bird though now. Like you've turned into an early bird.
I like to get up early when I'm in Australia for sure. Yeah.
We're night owls, 100%.
But I still like to get up quite early.
You like it up,
I
like,
don't like wasting the day.
Like I just want to fucking rave till the sun comes up. Repetitively.
neons in his
Wait,
you
but
go
low
pretty
key,
hard.
Asia turns the fuck up too.
I actually haven't been in Asia. I haven't been in
Asia turns up, bro.
Well, the
because-
city never goes to sleep. Obviously, a bit
Literally.
like New York, but like...
Well, because Shanghai, because we all know how good I play in Shanghai. I always have a lot of
Whoa.
spare. I always have a lot of spare time in Shanghai. Shanghai, fucking it's crazy.
You did well like a couple of years back in Shanghai, I'm pretty
But
sure.
1 year, 1 year.
Whoa.
Well, no, one year I actually played all right, and then the 2
Wait,
years after.
you actually like proper like turned up for that one?
Yes, for 1 year, and then the years after, I can't even go to Shanghai. Shout out Shanghai because I can't even play that event now. I need like 6 bodyguards because the crowd like starts like spitting at me and throwing glasses and stuff. They're like, "That's him, kill him," and I'm just like, "What the fuck, no, mate?" Like, I'm back, mate. I can't go to Shanghai.
It's good to be back.
I can't go to Shanghai.
I love
anymore.
you too.
But Asia's nasty.
Asia is good.
It's good.
Thailand's always.
Thailand.
I've been out in Thailand. I'm lying. I've been out with shout out OJ. Shout out OJ. Akira, Omar, a few of the other boys. We went out in Thailand one time. That was off the Richter.
Asia.
That was nuts.
So States, Europe, Asia. I mean, there's some dirty places out there.
For me, it's got to be America. For me, America takes a cake for sure, hands down.
I can, now that we're on the topic of like being around the world, let's go back to the Poland story.
Let's double. I haven't heard this one.
Yeah,
I'm
Keys to
quite
tell
eager
us.
to hear
Really
this.
paint the picture.
I'm quite eager.
Okay, so
Just like, illustrate on that canvas, baby.
okay, so we have a day off in Poland, right? So no one's playing, everyone's out of the tournament, whatnot.
We're
And
about what 14, 15 at the
14,
time?
15. So there's 5 of us. So it's Frawls, Travis Boone, Jared Winan, Jake Winan, and Nick Kyrgios.
Kick
And
your
for
ass.
some weird reason, Todd, right? Shout out Todd Laughing, baby. Wait, let's name this episode Todd fucking Laughing. So he puts me and Jake Winan together, which out of the 5, we're the least hard workers of the group. Like we're always looking for ways out, shortcuts, trying to shorten points. So when I hear that me and Jake are together, I'm like, this is not going to go well. And then the other group's Jared, Travis, and James, 3 honest competitors.
And Travis is like
Hustling.
the enforcer. Like,
And Travis
he's
is
just
enforcer,
like,
he's like no cutting corners,
Yes,
like
yeah.
full army bred. I'm
Letter
just
of the
like,
law.
cut the line.
Letter of the law.
And so we had to go around Poland in our groups and like an Easter egg hunt. You have to go to monuments, take a photo. There was like a challenge. Like you have to go to this certain cafe, buy a can of mushrooms,
Yeah.
open it up, video yourself eating it.
yeah.
But and we had to meet back at the hotel. First one to meet back at the hotel after doing all this won the challenge.
Yeah.
So I sat with Jack, and the rules are very strict. No public transport is to be used. So you have to go
I
by
already know how this ends.
you have to go by
Cheers, Kings.
foot. You have to run everywhere. No taxis, and just honest competing.
Yeah.
So we get to the first challenge. I go to the first challenge, and I'm like to Jake, like, bro, I can't do this. Like it's blistering hot. I'm like, we got to cheat, bro. Like we got to cheat. I'm not doing this.
What did Jake say straight away?
And Jake was like, I'm right with you. Like, I
Oh,
don't.
Jake was
yeah,
really keen on
yeah,
that.
it's like twist my arm.
Okay. So
And
he
then-
kind of said, "Say less."
So we bought a train ticket, like a tram ticket. So we just swiping on the tram, sitting there going around Poland, getting all these challenges.
Meanwhile, we're just absolutely. Travis is up the
back-
front. We're just like, oh,
You're just
fuck
putting
this.
it in.
Backpacks on, like running to these monuments, and me and Jake are just like eating ice cream.
This is like something you see in a movie, bro.
And then me and Jake get back to the finish line, and then these guys arrive like 10 minutes later, and then their faces, because we misjudged how close it was going to be. Like I thought it was going to be within minutes, but me and Jake are just like not even sweating 10 minutes early. I'm like, dude, that was like, this is fuck. See their face, and they're like, what the fuck? There's no chance they did this. Like they were sweating, and me and Jake like, I don't know. It was just so easy. And to
Just
this day-
talent.
and I only told Todd like last year.
Yeah, last year.
He thought
It
the
never
whole
came out. Are you serious?
And I told him
You're
last
taking
year.
that shit to your grave.
Yeah, bro, because I was like, I didn't tell him like 2 years ago.
Yeah, he only
Wait,
told me
you never
recently.
knew?
Not for years.
How the
Not for
fuck
at least
did that
5
even
years.
come up though? What was the delivery to like fess up?
I think I was just drunk and I was like, Frawl, remember that time in Poland? I think I fucking cheated you, bro.
Are you serious?
And bro, he was so cut. He didn't speak to me the whole night. He's like, bro, what the
That's
That was a
good
big
as.
loss. That was
That's
a big
good
loss
as.
for me.
Oh,
You
shit.
still kind of butthurt after that, bro.
Mate, but
You're
it's
like,
actually
mate.
hilarious.
You're
So
like,
hilarious.
mate.
To be honest, I always kind of knew, but I was just like,
Yeah, but you didn't
never really
know?
like admitted to it.
All right, so let's pull up some fan questions here. I feel like it's a good time to just dabble in like what the people want. Wait, we're the people's pod.
We are the People's Pod. We
Shout
are
out-
the People's Pod.
shout out the People's Pub.
And you best believe I'm gonna hit some frothies after this. You best believe it. Okay, I got a couple here, guys. So we'll start off with a funny one from a fellow tennis player, Jennifer Brady.
Shout out Jennifer.
Shout out Jenny Brady. She's fucking awesome. I've been out with her a bunch, and she's a former, Grand Slam finalist.
Yeah.
She made the Australian Open final, lost to
Yeah.
Osaka. So
Yeah.
good player as well. And Jenny Brady replies to our story and says, on average, guys, on a night out, how many shots on average do you take?
I want to answer for him.
You want to answer for
On
him?
answer-
An
We'll
honest
answer each
answer.
other.
Yeah,
We'll
but
answer each other.
okay.
I'd honestly
So
say
I'm answering for Frawls.
Okay, leave me last then.
So
Okay,
Leave me
you
last
go,
then.
you
Okay,
go.
a little bit of suspense for Keeks.
So
I
Babs,
think
we'll give a rundown of how we actually are when we go out. So Babs,
sure,
for
I
me,
like that.
Babs is like, he's like a coin. So if it lands on heads, he's going to rock up. He's going to give you vibes. He won't drink too much. He'll still be vibing. Like, he'll be dancing. He'll drink here and there. He loves a CC and dry with ginger ale.
Shout out CC's.
Shout out GG. And then if it lands on tails, Babs can give you a fucking loose one. And like he'll start drinking. And on average, I reckon Babs may take about, I'm going to say on average, on a night out, you take 5 to 6 shots.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, like
'Cause on a
the good nights, yeah, I kind
one.
of slap them up. No,
on
on
a
the
good
good nights
night,
I go
you'll take,
higher
like,
than that. Yeah.
9?
Yeah, but the one pulls me down. Like, that
Yeah,
just
yeah.
brings that average
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
way down
yeah.
to the ground.
So 5 to 6 for Babs, I reckon.
All right, bet.
Babs to Frawls.
I think Frawls is a lot similar to me. I think on my calmer nights, it's probably a bit more like Frawls. I'd probably be more leaning towards. I think on average, his average would be higher than mine.
Just a little bit. I was going to say the
think,
same.
yeah.
Because on his loose nights, he gets fucking
Because on
loose.
my chill nights, I'm not drinking shit.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've had more practice with him than you.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah,
probably
well,
why I can.
Yeah, living in Barra is going to do that. Like, just like that. By the way, Fact is a club here in Canberra. But it's actually not Fact. It's what? It's
Fiction.
fiction.
Fiction
It's-
and fact.
I just always call it Fact Fit.
Yeah, because we always get a fat.
Fig Fat.
Should have.
What was I going to
So-
say?
so
Yeah, I
7,
think
8.
Frawls 7, 8. No.
Same-
It's not his
same
average.
Or a bit more.
I don't think
6,
7.
7.
My average,
5,
I
6.
think, I would say a flat 6 for Frawls.
So basically, for us,
I
we're
don't
saying
think-
single digits.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
We're gonna
Kiggs-
just let's just keep us in single digits. Like Kiggs is just a whole nother ballpark.
Kiggs, I think we're definitely saying. Scary to say.
You need a bathtub for this shit.
triple digits.
Bro, I think we have been. I think I've been a part of some nights where I'm just like, what is going on? Like it's just like another like 30 shots coming out with like sparklers around them and shit. I'm like, Mom, I'm like, Dad, where are you?
I don't know. I just love it. Like, I just love it. I genuinely have a passion for it. Like, I love sinking them. They make me feel so good.
You actually genuinely feel it when you sip it. Like straight away, it's like as soon as
Yeah, take one and then-
you've necked one down, you're like,
And
this
the
is
tune's hitting,
unbelievable.
and I see you boys just like, I'm just like. So I'd say on an average night, I'm probably taking like 15 to 17 shots.
But the funny thing is, I think most people will sit here and say like that's a load of shit. But I can't stress enough that like even that's like an understatement at times. You like I feel like I've got footage somewhere on my phone. Like I don't want to know what else I got. But there's some footage somewhere I think from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago in Melbourne where you've just like ordered like a bottle of Grey Goose. I don't know if you remember this, but it's a bottle of Grey Goose, and it was one of the bottles you saw when you went and ordered a drink at the bar. But she didn't realize what you were asking for when you asked this at table service. She goes, oh, like so she accepted your order, went and got the bottle back. You were like, no, that's not the bottle. I wanted that bottle in the corner. It was like, it was like 2 meters high. Do you remember that or not?
Yeah, it's a Magnum.
Dude, it was huge. I saw it. And then, here I am, like just chilling, like low key in the corner, like a little vodka cranberry at the time. I haven't like elevated my game to CC dries yet. And here's Kiggs with like a 3 meter bottle, just like raising it into his mouth, and I was like, oh, what is going on?
Yeah, look, I probably do drink a bit too much, but I just love sending it with the boys.
You know what's funny though? Like when you were up until what 18, like
Yeah, but never drunk.
like even you'd always say to me, "Man, I never touch alcohol. Like I never want to drink or anything like that." Like
I feel like let's talk a little bit about this. Like I got something like just off the rip here. Obviously, you get excited when you do well at events and stuff like that. Like I'll relate it to you. This is actually a question from me. How have you found trying to somewhat like manage and like weigh the weeks that you're doing really good and like you're smacking like you're ticking all the boxes at the event, you're making semis, deep runs, whatever. You're really happy because you made this amount of money or you got this amount of points, right? High elevated happiness, right?
Yep.
How have you then been able to like control like because you're not always going out? How have you found like controlling yourself to like going out when you're on such highs like that and stopping yourself from going out when you're on those highs too?
Yeah, it's very tough. I mean, majority of my career when I was having good weeks, I wasn't going out like often at all. Maybe it was once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks.
Because also people like around you want to go out and celebrate the success too.
But now like people on tour, if they lose, my phone's getting hit up. And like, bro, I've got messages from like people that I don't fucking know. They just get my number like, oh, like show me a good time. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, but it's tough. Like, but towards the end of my career, like when I won Acapulco, bro, like if I had a GoPro on, like I was crowd surfing in Acapulco, bro. Like I was just there just drinking champagne. Like my eyes I couldn't even see straight, bro. I was just had like 3 cigars in my mouth and it was monumental.
Fuck, I need a stogie right now. I'm sure you've got a bit of like
but no, it's hard to balance it. But when you're doing well at these events all the time, you want to build on it. So going out's not even an option.
Yes,
even if you lose in semis, you're like, fuck it. I want to travel the next day, get there, get a quick hit on, and just prepare for my next event. Which I've done that many times. Yeah. There are times where I'm just like, fuck, I want to just enjoy myself. Like I've had a good week.
And stay where your feet are, kind of.
Correct.
Thing. Yeah.
I'm not talking blowout. Like I'm not talking like legless. But I'd have like 10 beers or something.
A few shots too, mixing in, and just kind of crawl home.
That's it.
You kind of like stumble home.
That's it. It's hard to find the balance as well.
It's tough.
And it depends on mindset you're in too. You can be dark mindsets.
I've been there with you when you did really well a long way back in Estoril.
Yeah.
And then you did pretty well in Madrid that time. That's when we went out that story, So I mean, I've been around that. I was just interested to see because we're not always with you,
Yeah.
So just there's a lot of temptations out there.
Definitely.
And it's not even just alcohol. There's a lot outside of just alcohol that's tempting people on tour, and there's people that have obviously faced bans from that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
So
do you see yourself ever just saying for 1 year I'd stuff it? Like I'm just gonna like
absolutely not. I'll make it eat your words. Absolutely not. I'm not changing. I enjoy it like this. It's spontaneous, fun.
Yeah.
And when I look back on it in my career, I fucking had fun.
Yeah, you did. You did things how you wanted to do.
Too much fun.
I don't know. I reckon we'll see.
No,
maybe a change.
Absolutely not. I just don't want to travel as well, like anymore.
As much.
Yeah.
As heavy. Sure.
I won't ever be traveling as like enough to be at the top anymore. So.
Yeah, but give it a few years. You never know, man. Look at you when you were 18. Completely different to now.
Yeah, I'm 26 now, bro.
26 still money, bro. You still got plenty of time. I mean, we still want to play with 27. We still plan to go overseas next year. Club tennis, tour, go as far as we can go. I mean, dude, you're 6 months younger than me, and you're February early, so a year and a bit with Frawls. Plenty of time, babe. Plenty of time on the clock. Oi, plenty of time on the clock.
You got me in my feels right now, bro.
You good.
I'm coming back. I'm looking back. I'll see you in Antwerp 2022, mate.
Then again, after Wimby, you were like, I've got a second wind on tennis. So
yeah, and then I ended up getting injured and to fucking grind and travel again. Oh. And I just was like, I think the restrictions didn't help. Like if I was able to get good physio, bring my team with me, then maybe. But it was just bad timing.
Affected so many people.
But it was tough. That was the toughest thing, not having my team around me.
Let's go next question with that one. I feel like we touched that nicely.
Another fan question. Top 3 memories of each other.
I got one.
This one's from shout out _Emma _B_. Okay. Shout out Emma B, babe.
Okay. Let's go. I like that question, Emma. I can go off the rip if you guys want me to go first.
Yeah.
I think for me, my top memory. Wait, is it all together or is it just one of us?
Just we could involve one of us.
Okay. I was
get one of each.
kind of all thinking on tour.
Okay.
So I was thinking at the time that you brought me, or actually we met up in dude.
Barcelona.
He knows what I'm gonna say. This guy's in my head. Get out. I think for me, for Barcelona was real spontaneous. We both landed into Barcelona. I was there actually just to start training in an academy, which turns out I didn't end up doing, but I did a couple of sessions. But then Foles was like, Kiggs is like, oh, come hit some with me. And I was like, I'll dabble. Say less. And then anyway, my biggest thing with that was the high of when we were just street balling.
Oh,
So it was just like humble beginnings because like we didn't have any ball shoes. We went to like a local like Kmart in like Barcelona to get these like.
we went to like a school, local school.
I don't know what these shoes were. They were like a Coppos or something. Like I don't know what they were. Like $20 shoes, right? €20 shoes. We didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
We're just like we just want to get out there. Give us a ball. Give us two able shoes.
Yeah.
Let's get out there and just get some buckets. I still got footage of that. Oh, we might have to put it up on the vid.
Bro, you should, and that's crazy. You know why? Because I met up with Babs, right? And then I was like, fuck it, Babs. Like, you can just start traveling with me. Just start traveling with me for the next, like, month.
I think I did a month.
He did a month, right? And then we were just rooming together in my rooms that I was getting from the tournaments. And, like, we're in Barcelona. I lose first round Barcelona to Yima. I still remember this.
Oh, you actually remember?
I lost in 3. And we're playing at local schools, like street balling with like the locals in Barcelona for fucking hours. It was raining one day.
One day we're still getting shots up.
And we were just
we were
there.
like, we're still on the dream.
And then we were just still playing. And then went to Estoril, I think.
Estoril, yes.
And then
Estoril. Estoril, you went deep, bro.
Yeah, we made final.
Final.
Lost to Gasquet.
Dude, we had some good sessions on this course, bro.
That's not me. What people don't understand is like about us is like, bro, we just fuck around and we just like do what we want. Like we're playing street ball in Barcelona, right? Like,
Still working hard, though.
don't know, but the worst preparation for on honest terms. So we're playing on fucking concrete, bro, with shit shoes. Play basketball, you can roll an ankle. Fucking
Yeah,
out
you
6
could do
months.
a lot of things.
And then 2 weeks after that, I played Feds in Madrid, and I won.
One of the big-
And it's just
big
like
week.
people just don't understand. Like, that just shit doesn't happen. Like, as for
That's
normal,
what we're here for, though.
I
We're
know,
here
but
to
like,
show 'em.
everyone just doesn't get it. Like,
Yeah.
every tennis player is like fucking day in, day out, like preparing, and we're just like getting buckets up.
I think that goes a little bit to like what I said earlier with the iceberg. You know, like there's so much that people don't see. I feel like this is like a great opportunity. Like obviously not showcase yourself, but like showcase like what it's like to even be lower end, top end, and like the interchangeables between that.
That's what, and we're playing 2K. Remember, all
Bro, we're living just playing 2K. I think like I was just like I was snapping controllers because I couldn't beat this guy. I don't know. He had like some Steph Curry cheat code. It's just like I was just like fuck.
Rolf.
Was this my best story?
Well, yeah, best story just from like traveling or between, or not even traveling, but
Like,
just like
the one I
us three.
always tells of you, like in New Zealand. In New Zealand.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, we'll double this
What
one.
about the
Yeah.
one you?
It's kind of embarrassing for me, but we'll go for
We're
it.
in New Zealand. I don't know. I'm going to say 14, 15 again.
No, we
How
were
old?
15. I think we were 15,
Yeah.
turning 16.
So it was me, Babs. We got one coach, Alan Jones.
Yeah,
He was
shout
there
out
with
Shout
me.
out Jonesy,
Shout
bro.
out
Fuck
Jonesy.
that
Where
back,
Jones
he's so
is
fucking
absolute
silky,
G.
bro.
From the mud, baby.
So we're in New Zealand. We've both lost singles. We're in doubles. It's like getting towards the end of the week, and it's a windy day at the courts.
No. You got to really sell it, bro. Dude, it was gale force. No, it really was. And you laugh deeper every time we tell this story.
It gets funny every time, man.
Gale force win.
Yeah, okay. Gale Force wins. We're playing doubles. We're both, bit ready to go home, but
It was our last week. Yeah, last week.
so Babs is serving. He's gone one game.
I'm the anchor too. Like I hold the shit down. Wait, let me just get that out. Like, hold it down. Go, get going.
So we're out there playing. He's gone one full game of double faults. So 4 double faults in a row. I'm like, look, it's all right, man. Like, stay positive.
happens. It is what it is.
Next game we'll be fine. Just get back onto it.
It was 4. No. Was that a 4-all? I think it was 4-all, and then we lost the set 6-4. I'm pretty sure.
Anyway,
Yeah.
gets to the next game.
Next set.
Gets to the next game. He's gone 3 double faults. He's gone first serve fault, and like at this stage, like everyone's laughing. Like our coach is laughing, their coach is laughing.
We were playing fellow Aussies.
Yeah, Brad Mousey, Lee too.
Shout
the
out the
boys.
boys. Shout out the boys.
That's pretty fucking funny, bro.
Everyone's laughing. I'm like,
At that point, you want him to do double.
I'm like, bro, just put it into the box. I don't care how you get it in there. And he puts the serve into the box.
Bro, you're fucking crying, bro.
Finish the story, bro.
Bro, so come the 4th one. I was just like, dude, I can't do this shit no more. I was like, that was me. I was like, what? I literally served it so slowly that I nearly took Frawley's head off. And I was like, I'm done. Just snap a bat, and I just walked off the court.
Guys put the return back at him. He's dumped it back and just snapped his racket. For me, that's absolutely classic story. So
That-
good.
in
Yeah,
fairness,
I've heard of
in fairness, it's like not one of my brighter moments on tour. There's been some times where I really held shit down, but that was one where I definitely let slip for sure.
That's
I let that
fucking
slip.
hilarious.
It could be
Oh,
anything.
actually, I got a
can
fucking
be
good
anything.
one about us in Atlanta. I remember when the guy.
What is this? Such a cook story.
This is a fucking unreal story. So I'm playing Atlanta maybe 2016, and I just had an absolute battle with Nishioka in the quarters. Fucking hot day.
Yoshido.
Yeah, Yoshida. And prior to this happening, it was like in the third set, we both went to the air conditioning, and I took off all my clothes, like wang out and everything. I just sat in the air conditioning like this.
You got your whipper out.
Like I was just sitting there. It was so because this Atlanta's known as Hotlanta. Like you're dripping just sitting there.
It's super hot.
And Nishioka's just going, and I'm just sitting in this like in my little caravan with nothing on. The ref comes in, he's just looking at me bare ass and nuts, like my beef and sausages. And then he's just like, Keegs, get you changed, get back out there. Anyway, somehow win the match, get back, and me and Frawls, we're rooming together that night, right? And it's like probably like 11 p.m. We're trying to get to bed. Like we were just like chilling, and all we hear is just like. For like I'm talking, and I'm not kidding.
What? Like I know what that noise is.
Bro.
What is going on?
Bro, upstairs constantly for a good hour. Like it doesn't stop, and it gets like good, like just rhythm. Like,
He's really hitting it.
bro, and I'm
He's
and like,
smacking that real good.
and you can hear things in their room like moving. And I go to Frawls. I was like, this guy is on fire. We didn't get to sleep till like 1:30.
you were just
And then-
listening to it. This guy's got like a cup to the thing. He's
Honestly,
like, oh.
and then, but I'm telling you, and then like he started like slowing down, and then some grunts came, and he was like, "Oh," and then me and Frawls were like in fucking tears, bro. And then I tweeted that next morning. I was like, "Shout out to the guy in the room above me, like I got no sleep today playing Vasco." And
Are you
shit."
serious?
Bro,
To be fair, I reckon.
Did we hear anything from the guy? Like, did he come onto Twitter or anything?
No, well, it must have just been a public guy, but like that isn't it. Like I got no sleep from a guy just absolutely just.
He was
keen
just
the whole
smacking
night.
it the whole time.
To be honest, I don't think we said anything. Like no word was spoken until the next morning. We were just like, "Did you hear? Like, did you hear the same thing I heard last night?"
And it was just like, that was with Frawls. Like, and I was just like, bro, that is just, I couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't believe, and I don't even know who it was. That was one with Frawls. I got plenty, maybe for another time, but
Yeah, we'll save.
there's
I
one,
feel like we do an episode where it's just off the rip, anything goes.
definitely. And for
God,
next
what title?
episode, like, I'm going to have a story in my sleeve about when I played Tsitsipas State Speed Cup. Because a lot of fans and
Lordy.
stuff
Stay
have
tuned.
been asking for it, and it's fucking hilarious. So you got to listen to it.
I actually heard the story the other day and I kind of didn't believe it. So stay tuned for that one. It's episode 4, I believe. We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna air some dirty laundry there.
This is from Vucic, 21.
Stefan.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What's something from your idols that you want to carry into your platform and help make a difference? So I guess like what's someone that you guys look up to that like this is our platform now? Like so like something that in someone you look up to that's a good quality that you would, carry that with yourself, I guess.
You guys know I'm obsessed with Elon Musk.
we go.
Absolutely love Elon Musk.
Shout out Elon. Shout out where the Tesla's at, baby.
For sure. We've got the Tesla tequila here. Nick's got a Tesla downstairs.
We are fans.
Yeah. I just love what he's doing for like the climate. I know it's like, not the most spoken about topic. Well, it is, but not the most popular, I guess, topic. Yeah. But like I think me and Nick, we speak a lot about this, and like you're with Beyond Meat as well, like plug Beyond Meat.
Yeah.
We try. We're just trying to make a difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Like I think like the climate's our responsibility is the younger generation. So yeah, I just love everything he's doing. Like obviously with Tesla, I'm obsessed with it. So yeah, it's one of my big.
I think just with him, like
So just like his mindfulness on like the future.
Of just
That's what
trying
you
to, like,
admire, and that's
save
what
the
you want
planet
to.
that we have.
And that's
Yeah.
what you want to instill in yourself, or instill in others too, with the platform.
And I think that's what needs to change though, because for someone like him, and he could look around the world and see like about all these people who don't really give a fuck, like littering or whatever it is. It'd be so easy for someone like that with X amount of money, X amount of this, to just say fuck it, like I don't have to do this. And he's still trying to innovate. He's still trying to create and work out ways to make the planet 0.1% better.
Yeah, 100.
And I think what we're trying to instill is like, even though people may not think they're making a difference, everything adds up.
Everything counts. It all
Everything
adds
adds
up,
up.
no matter how big or how small.
And like we can vote with our money. Like as the people, like we vote with where we put our money. Like even when we go to the supermarket, like
Correct.
we can start
Yeah.
trends, we can change things.
100%. We can start trends here.
For
That's
sure.
what I mean.
So,
And that's a good one actually.
I like that.
Shout out Elon.
So
fuck him.
are you kind of like the same with him on that?
Well, yeah, like I agree with Elon. I mean, my idols. I mean, fuck, I don't know, bro. Like,
I can go one. I can come through. I mean, there's one that's like Casey Neistat. I've watched a lot of his like vlogs and stuff. I really like connected with him like as a person and stuff. You know, obviously I don't know him to that extent, but seeing like, you know, how he kind of took to content creation, but still like I think showed his true self. Like I feel like that's something that like I like, you know, and I feel like maybe on this platform using this, like we can kind of, I don't know, like help people like come out of their, you know, no, but come out of their boxes or shells a little bit. And like, I said this on the other episode a little bit, like just, you know, being like more comfortable in their own skin and not being like pressured to like show other people like, you know, their true self.
I think like storytelling like is definitely what he does like through his vlogs, right? Like
yeah,
it's
Casey's a heavy
storytelling.
storyteller. I mean, obviously he's different. Like he's so different. He's like 45, riding like boosted boards up New York, you know, vlogging. I mean, that's like, people look at that like a normal person. Like we see some guy do that in front of us on the street here in Canberra. We, you know, naturally you're like, who's this joker? You know, whizzing by at like 50 years old on a skateboard. But like that, if he wants to do that and like he wants to create that content, he wants to be that person and like portray himself in that light and show his family like in that light, like more power to him. Like I feel like that's the same thing here. Like, you know, I like to show people that like, you know, I might be a bit quirky, a bit weird, a bit funny, like whatever.
you're not afraid of that.
Yeah,
You're just
100%.
doing your thing.
Yeah.
And that will always be an ongoing issue as well. You know?
That's for me.
People are always, I think with the way social media and all that, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, yeah.
And people are just afraid to just even say what they feel anymore.
I've always been like that, even through Twitch and streaming. You know, like.
But like even living in Canberra, I feel like, you know, there's a lot of people with, you know, working for the government. Like, you know, it's like a thing of like, you know, get a government job, office job, and, you know, start a family early, buy a house. Yeah, like, you know,
That's
like
the norm.
So for us, like playing and traveling, like it's quite different, you know.
People look
just
at you
like,
different.
What are you doing?
People look at you way different, like, oh, like you wasting your life and stuff, and it's just like, oh no, just because I'm doing a different pathway to you. Like it's like, you know, we're not here to compete with each other, you know. Like I know like healthy competition, you know, keeps pushing the world forward, right? In innovation, all that kind of stuff. Even in like content creation or like as an athlete or whatever you know chosen field is, but
I mean, I guess now I feel like I just love qualities in people. Like, you know, when like, even like with you guys, like when I'm just hanging around, like you do something or you're generous or you're just like kind, like those are like things that just stick out for me now. Cause like I've just been traveling around the world, meeting so many shit people. Like, and then when someone just like does something good, it just stands out to me straight away. So I don't know if it's like more like an idol thing.
I still think like even though there is bad people, there's so many good people
still
out
good
there,
people.
and like
That's what I mean. But
you got to
like,
keep that open mind, you know.
Yeah.
So guys, I want to end this with the last part of our podcast for tonight.
last little segment
Yeah.
right here.
Mean tweets, Kigs, or mean Instagram comment.
Yeah, let's just go a little social media dabble and like, you know, give people like the view of what it's like to just cop some not so nice things.
well, I mean, you guys know when you lose
I've
a
got
match,
some. I've got some.
There's a lot of negativity, and social media gives everyone a platform. And I mean, I got a couple here. Yeah, I mean, I'll read one that's, you know, this is probably what I get probably every second, every third day of my life. Subconsciously just going in and just
Even
absorbing
walking the
it.
streets though too, yeah.
Yeah, walking the streets.
God, I
mean,
we
look,
got a story about the other night when we were at the ice cream place. You and I parking the car. We're meeting Frawls.
bro, that's
Do
what
we
I
even
mean,
want
like,
to touch on that? I mean,
dude,
I don't
like,
know.
You were
Jesus.
there, right?
Yeah, I saw the end of it. Yeah, it was weird.
Jesus.
Just parked my car. I'm on the phone. I'm with these guys, and two guys stopped by. Shout out Nissan Pulsar, baby. That's what they were driving.
100.
And they're stopping by, just like straight up yelling out of the car, just hate. I don't even know what they were saying. And they started ripping. My brother has alopecia, by the way, for people that don't know. That means like he doesn't grow hair anywhere in his body. He's had that since he was like maybe 6 or 7. And then just start like, I don't know, they were just like ripping him and like ripping that he has no hair. It's just like just a constant hate from all angles.
Was smashing me because I was wearing a bandana.
Yeah, like.
And then like, you know, we hopping out of your Tesla.
Yeah.
They're doing laps around us. Frawls is like, what's going on?
Yeah.
They come back for another lap.
Yeah.
They're like, you know, wheels are skidding. They're just like, oi, like swearing, like fight me, like throw this, throw that.
And that's like that's
just
the
the usual
we got to
day.
deal with.
That's
Like
just the
that
usual
is a
day.
usual. And if you take it too seriously, it does wear you down.
Yeah, 100%.
But the more thing that bothers me is a bit of the racial slurs that I get sometimes. But I mean, look,
Read that one
I'll
out
read
real
them out
quick.
because
Yeah.
I think they're funny. And for the Djokovic fans out there and stuff, like I know that you don't like me, but you'll still be listening to the podcast. Shout you out, baby.
I will take that view, baby.
All right, so I don't know. I think I must have lost the match, and this is. You are the garbage of tennis players. Your attitude is that of a criminal. And the worst part is that your performance in the ATP is irregular. You have not won anything important. Compare your attitude with that one of Federer. Go back to basketball. This is a sport of gentlemen, not savages. You were one of my favorite players because I thought you had talent. But now you are an example of how world society should not be. Cheers, lad. You should be imprisoned for breaking the rackets that give you money so you can eat. Fire emoji. Appreciate you, baby.
I just don't understand where they get the gall to say these kind of things. Like,
Well, I mean,
You would
that's
never
more lighthearted stuff.
That's
you
actually
would-
quite funny to me.
but like, there's people that'll say that and be deadly serious, but they'll never say that to you in person. Never.
Something people don't know though is I heard an interview actually of you, where every time you get a fine from breaking your racket, you're actually giving that money
charity.
back. Is it to the tour, like
Yeah,
the
but
lower
they-
levels of tennis?
Yes, yes.
So
So I'm actually
basically,
helping.
he's
Wait, what's it?
So
I haven't even heard this,
all
bro.
my fines, right?
Yes.
They go to like lower levels of tennis, like, and I'm just
To fund more futures.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm funding the wave. Man.
You're like, be like me, bro.
when they told me that, I was like, you shouldn't have told me that. 'Cause I was like, what?
Like, 8 a match.
Those comments, I'm not so like, I don't really give a fuck about
No,
those.
it's just
ones,
when they
'cause
get a
they're funny.
bit deeper, like
But when
racial and
when you
stuff.
start like, commenting on like family and when things get a bit like personal,
Yeah.
I feel like if I see you, like, then I'm not gonna be like
you're-
someone that they think I should be, which is just like ignoring. I won't be like that.
Crossing lines.
Yeah.
Like, this is just genuine, like, flat out human, like, basic human lines.
Anymore. Yeah.
Like, you don't treat other humans like that. But, like, we've got ones that we could, like, I mean, I could go grab my phone and just, like, request that I've just never opened. But, that, you lose a match at Futures, Charlie's.
the worst.
We've
Like-
got, what's the other one? The UTRs at the moment now, where, like, they're all, universally, you can bet on them. Like,
Yeah.
Bet365, whatever. I'm not sure what they use in that regard. But we lose a match. We win a match when we're not supposed to win also.
Yeah.
Blowing up our phones, 7 message requests or whatever, like 17 message requests, threatening our families, hoping that we, get sick with certain different,
Yeah, it's fucked.
diseases and stuff. And it's like, bro, like, just let me like live my life. Like, and
Yeah,
obviously,
it's
like,
brutal,
you're
bro.
on a stage 5 time magnitude times a million, but
Well, it's just
like you even got to face that as you're even coming up too.
But that's the thing that just goes back. That's not normal for a human to deal with that. Like, we can check it every day and read it and like not really care about it, but subconsciously you're absorbing all these words and they just beat you down, bro. Like, they just beat you down.
Yeah.
And it's just not good.
Nah.
So it's just fuck you to anyone that said that. You know what I mean? Like,
But like the
it's
thing is like people like I guess back to social media, but like you're probably not coming up to someone in person and saying like all that racial stuff and like I hope you die or whatever. Like that's probably not happening in person 99% of the time. But on social media, it's so easy to just send a message behind a fake account. Like
So much for that.
it's sad, but
it's sad.
like
but-
unfortunately these days
We just
you
got to be
can't really
better.
stop it.
We just got to be
I mean,
better.
but their misses are still coming up for photos. Shout out to Graham, baby.
The what, sorry?
All their misses are still after the photos. Just like, wow. I'm just like,
Oh my god, I'll take that selfie with you, mate. Where you at later though?
yeah.
It's gold. Lads, pretty happy with where we're at here. I feel like we've kind of found like a nice little, nice little just calm lull. Just kind of end the, sign off on the episode. Still very new to this, so we're still trying to find our way, I feel like. Getting pretty comfy though, getting pretty comfy. I feel like, we got some areas that we're going to work on, but getting pretty comfy with it. How'd you feel, Frost? How'd you feel?
not bad. My mum said it was super awkward in the last one, so shout out mum. Thanks
I
so
don't.
much.
I don't think our parents have too much. My mum ripped the hell out of me. Like I was just like,
Really?
Yeah. She was like, "You're not doing this. You're doing that. You're like, oh, too much this, too much that." I'm like, "Fuck, did you enjoy it?"
My mum's like, oh, the media takes it the wrong way. I'm just like, shut up.
No, but at least now it was like when we were leaving the house, she's like, "Have fun." And I'm like, "Yeah, we will."
You should watch how the media takes it.
Nah. At the end of the day, we're just here for a good time. We just hope people can enjoy the ride with us. Make sure at the end of the day, you guys are giving us 5-star rating across the platforms, following, subscribing on YouTube. You got to hit that sub button, baby. Show it some love, and we'll keep these episodes rolling on out.
See you later, guys. Episode 4.
Thanks, guys. It was a
Coming
pleasure.
at you soon, baby. See you soon. Peace.